Good evening, traders. This is CloudChartist with the daily wrap-up for the 21st of July, Tuesday. I'm going to go over the ES, CL, and the grain complex, or some subsection of the grain complex, corn, wheat, and soybeans. So anyway, we're looking at the ES daily chart right now. ES is still trading. No, stop trading for the moment. So we see that today we put in a reversal lower after putting some tweezer tops when this daily candle opened. So we're still bullish and above the cloud on the daily time frame, but we are headed towards the flat cloud below at 2095.23. And no guarantee that we're going to get there, but that's the direction that we're headed in thus far. So we also note that the Chikou, this red line over here representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past, is also going to come into support at the Kijun-sen at around 2097.41, or sorry, about 2097, 2098, that thereabouts. So keep that in mind that we pause at that area also. Let's look at CL. Let's see, U5. Not a lot of action in the markets today, by the way. It was very slow, very choppy, very low volume, although surprisingly, ES volume for the day picked up significantly. Earlier it was quite slow. Looking at CL, we see that we put in a reversal and got a bit of a bounce today, but that bounce was sold. We did get the API reports out a little bit ago, and there was a small build, so that may or may not have affected the price. It doesn't seem like it affected it too much after the number came out. So with crude, we continue to bear flag until we get above this 52.22 level, which is the Tenkan-sen on the daily. Once we get above that, I will consider the bear flag to be no longer a bear flag. But until then, we're just going sideways to lower on this overall quite bearish chart. Okay, let's look at corn. Let me specify the... let's leave it at this because I have a drawing on here. All right, so we see that corn put in a doji today, and I drew these fips because I thought it was a pretty interesting level, and I'll zoom in and show you why. Oftentimes when price is between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, and I don't have a lot of levels to work with, I will fib that span. I will fib from the Tenkan-sen to the Kijun-sen. So I did that, and I found the 50% fib to be pretty important. So that's 50% of the distance between these two indicators. And that's pretty much exactly where we put in this doji, just over the 50% fib. We also tagged the 38.2. I'm not sure if we tagged it. Let me check. The low was 413. Yes, we did. We tagged the 38 to the 38.2 is at 413.16, and the low was at 413. So we tagged just slightly under that. So what does this mean as far as price going forward? It could mean that we're putting in a reversal to the upside. Dojis can represent potential reversals. We do have a small topping tail on this candle also. Or we could continue to go lower. What will be important to see tomorrow is if we put in a higher high and a higher low, or if we put in a lower high and a lower low, or if we put in an inside candle. So this area between that this candle is spanning from today's candle from 413 to, let's see, the high was 421. It's fascinating that that's where the 38.2 and the 61.8 is, isn't it? At the extremes of the candle. I mean, it's almost perfect, really. So it'd be interesting to see what side of this range, if either, that corn can break out of tomorrow, and we'll have a better idea of the direction going forward. All right, so let's go to soybeans. Soybeans looking a lot like corn at the moment, but actually are in an uptrend now after yesterday's potential reversal candle. The reversal is indeed confirmed. We put in a higher high and a higher low. It still looks like a doji type candle, but it's also, we have the Tenkan-sen here tipping upwards, which is bullish. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. If soybeans do continue to the upside, they have this gap to fill here. I think of gap fills as being the body of the body-to-body type gaps. Someone once referred to them as open body gaps. The band, not just the tail of the candle. So this gap fill would be at the close, which was 1006.25. So I'll look for a body to fill that gap area. It didn't happen today. It filled it with the tail, but not with the body. And then we could go higher and see what happens when we get to 1016.25. That should offer resistance. If we do reverse and go lower, we sort of know the parameters that we have here. Basically, we have support down here at the Kijun Sen below at 987.63. Let's look at wheat. Wheat, on the other hand, quite bearish. Although the overall chart is bullish, wheat continues in its solid move down. Today's candle closing very close to the lows after putting in a small body gap here. So we can look for wheat to find support either when the Chikou comes into the Tenkan-sen down here around 511.67, or all the way down at the cloud, which is around 508.50, thereabouts. And since we happen to be here and it's after hours and it's Apple earnings, I thought we should just take a peek at Apple for fun. So Apple is not going to show us on the daily time frame where the prices start trading after hours, but let's go to the 5-minute and I'll mark it, and then we can look at it on the daily. So price is trading right around 121. So I'm just going to put in a little line, and then we can look at that on the daily chart. It's not very accurate, but it will get the job done. So we see that tomorrow we're going to see Apple back down in this area, right around where it put in the lows. So that would be interesting to see. You know, Apple's going to have a lot more work to do. That was the low put in on the 9th, you know, will be interesting to see us if we can retest that low at 120.15 if we continue to sell, or if we do catch a bounce and head upwards again. Well, if we will be if we do head upwards again, we'll be encountering resistance at the Tenkan-sen at 126.10. It's currently at that level, but it's unclear where it will be once we open tomorrow and have that big gap down. You know, anything can happen with Apple overnight. We could wake up tomorrow morning and see Apple back at 125 area if it gets bought overnight. You never know. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's about it for my wrap up. Thanks for joining me, and let's try to stay sane in this rather arduous trading conditions. It's always better to not trade than to trade and get chopped up and take small losses and etc., etc. Okay, have a good night.